I am Todd from GoodCleanFunLife.com.
I'm Tony Russo, no relation, and you're listening to Day Drinking on Delmarva, a podcast about life and culture on the Delmarva Peninsula. I drink because I get to live here. No, I drink because I have to live here. Todd drinks because he gets to live here. And he got a little done this week, which we'll talk about. I've developed this weird speech pattern. I'm going to call it podcast derangement. Where I have to say the same things over and over and over again. And in my dumb head, I say, well, if you say them differently every time, they won't sound rote.
Yeah.
But then I do that like I just did in the beginning, where I'm like, and then I go, and now I talk very fast, and then I talk very fast. And I'm like, that's dumb. Stop it. And I can't, like, now that I realize it, I can't stop myself. And then I can only hate myself for failing to stop. So that's where we are today.
Yeah. Well, we've missed a couple weeks. So maybe jumping back into the saddle is what you need to kind of square that up.
This is where I get snarky and say, this is literally the fourth podcast I've recorded today. It is 2 p.m.
Yeah. And you're not sick of your own voice yet?
No, me? Never. I listen to these podcasts to help me fall asleep. That's not true. I had to say that's not true because I think people would believe that for very good reason. I've actually had lots of good stuff going on, even though before we started, I told Todd we had nothing going on. But before we get to that, I want to get to what you've got going on, because you've had a busy couple weeks and you have a busy couple more. And you're doing stuff for Good Clean Fun Life Productions nowadays. Is that?
Yeah. Yes. September always is one of those things that we try to convince ourselves is going to slow down, and it doesn't. Events, fun things. I did see a great post that somebody was talking about, and I think it really resonates for us and what we do with Good Clean Fun, right? We started this as like a little blog thing in 2009. Yeah. And, so we're coming up on a big anniversary. A couple really, but it has always been something, and in 2009, when we started our little blog company, which would become our business, it was with the expressed intent of going out and showing people out in the area, having a good time. I always said, we're going to show people in a positive light and have fun doing it. If it's not fun, we're not going to do it. Well, here we are all these years later, and it's still all of those things. The thing that I saw that really resonated was talking about work-life balance and shifting the perspective and saying that it's not balance, it's integration, right? And I could have done a lot of different things over the years. I could have gone corporate and tried to be a marketing manager at a
I'm proud to be the only one less suited for that kind of job than you are.
Yeah. Yes. Right. Right. And I know, and that's a compliment to us both, I would say. I had some opportunities, but how I measure success is, whether it's being able to have a beer at lunch, if that's the definition of being retired, we've been retired for all these years. It is been a good integration of work and fun. And one of those things that has come of that is like what happened last week up in the Dewey Beach area, where we went to we had a putt-putt golf tournament, and there were some people there who were of the more corporate variety. And it's great because, taking pictures and having fun and, and that sort of thing, very unserious, right? Because it is a putt-putt golf tournament, but it was still for a charity. So technically it was a charity golf tournament that my corporate buddy had told his crew that he was at. So it's like, maybe hold off on posting the pictures until tomorrow. And actually the great thing is him and his buddy who showed up, actually dressed They had the T-shirts and top hats like the Dumb and Dumber characters. So it was not just unserious, but downright silly. But good time, and always always great to be able to again integrate work and play and all that we do.
Yeah, I like this notion of integration, because I agree with it, and I like everything that I agree with. I mean, who doesn't? But the thing is, I think the other thing is you and I have in common is there's no retirement for us. There's no
right.
There's like, I guess that if I had $10 million waiting for me for like, God bless my wife. So my wife is going to retire this year, and she's going to still have to work, or she's going to still choose to work, whichever it happens to be. But she gets to stop going to school every day, which I mean, which she has done. She has gone to school pretty much every day that there has been school since she went to kindergarten or preschool or whatever. Right. Because she went to school, she went to college, and she went to work in a school. And so like next September, she's going to have like it's going to be weird for her to not go to school, but there's a reward for that. And the reward is that you don't have to do it every day until you die.
Yeah.
The penalty for integrating is you do have to do it till you die.
You do that. Yeah. Right.
Which I don't mind, because I feel fortunate that I saw that coming early on.
Yeah.
Like when I was in my late 20s, I was like, well, if I do this, then I can get wealthy and retire. And if I do this, I'll get wealthy and retire. And then right before I decided to quit my life and go get a degree in philosophy, I said, no, you're not ever going to retire. You're going to work until you die.
Yeah.
You may as well find a way to make it a little less odious. Yeah. And, for all my pissing and moaning, this is as unodious as I could make a life like mine be.
Right.
That sound right?
A life like mine be. Yeah. And you get to listen to your voice all day long.
And well, I like making stuff, I've been having, and I don't think it's been a secret, I think that I've said it before, but I've been having struggles with my day job. And and for my day job, I cover the funeral industry, and there's just political silliness that I forgot what it was like to have a straight job.
Right. Like in industry politics.
Yeah. Fine, right? Blah, 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 blah. But one of the things that it had kept me from doing, my own kind of mania over it, was I hadn't written like for real. Like I don't count reporting on funeral news like really writing. I didn't take something out of my head and make it be here. And the last 2 weeks I have. And I forgot how good that made. It's like going to the gym for my brain. Actually, one day I went to the gym and I wrote like an essay that I wasn't ashamed of. And I guess that's what doing cocaine is like. Because I was like, for the rest of the day, I'm like, and then this, and then this, and then this. I saw a light.
Natural dopamine. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was pleasant. And now I'm doing that again. So I'm looking forward to all of the things that I'm going to foist upon the world that the world is going to ignore, and I'm going to keep my straight job at my straight job place. But I got to talk to some cool people. If like me, you're not tired of listening to my voice, you should listen to one of my other podcasts. The one I do one that it's called Funeral Service Insider, the podcast. And I interview like funeral directors and stuff like that. And it's just really interesting. These are just people who are trying to either help the recently bereaved or help the people who are helping the recently bereaved. And the one that's coming out on Monday, the 29th, is particularly good. And and if you're interested in that kind of thing, I speak with a woman who runs a burial forest, a conservation forest. So you bring your ashes there, and they put your ashes in with some dirt, and then they put them near a tree, and then you kind of slowly go into the ground. And she's a funeral director, and we talk a lot about the different things that are going on in the industry, but one of them is this kind of a lot of new agey stuff
Right.
is kind of seeping in. So I didn't mean to do commercial. Sorry.
No. Well, but it is interesting. I mean, similar to like our charter of show people in a positive light, and similar to that, it is when people are passionate about their industry and it's something that nothing about. I find that very interesting,
Yeah.
And because what holds people's attention is not, small talk about the weather and that sort of thing. And like, what did you do? What have you done today? But like, what has, lit a fire under your ass, or you're passionate about, helping people, get through that stage in life, which everybody faces that at some point. Right.
And
I think it's interesting.
That's a great way to put it, because that's what I think appeals to both of us about what we do. Just as you said, like, we get to live other people's lives temporarily. There's a great quote by a writer, and actually this is a note for something else that I'm writing, but I'll steal it. It's from Anais 9. I know, ANAIS and then NIN. She's a famous essayist. I don't know who she is though.
Okay.
But one of the things that she wrote was, "We write to taste life twice."
Ooh, yeah.
And I got a kick out of that. So I wrote that down for a different essay that I wrote at a different point.
Yeah. And it's funny too. I spoke with my parents today, and my parents are lovely people, but they're also 80. And they still have like some preconceived notions of how things should be. And when I started working at the restaurant, whenever I talk about the restaurant, 410, our great little neighborhood bar, I always say that I'm helping run the place a couple nights a week, and that is what I'm doing. But like, talking to my parents, and they're like, "Oh, are you still going to be doing that?" Like it was a temporary thing or a necessary thing, or like I'm on hardship and that's why I have to do this. But it is really something that is, first of all, learning something new. The older you get, should be something that you do all the time, right? You talk about like mental exercise. And, something that fills your cup, but also like interacting with people and finding out backstories and getting to know them if they're regulars, or just having somebody said, a famous restaurateur was like, you almost have to have a voyeuristic take on seeing people be happy. And I've you talk about,
that's great. That's a great way to put that.
Right. And because it's hard, right? Like, I'm 52 years old and I'm staying on my feet for 8 hours. I haven't done that in a long, long time, but at the payoff is great. You're exhausted and that sort of thing, but then, you have all of these interactions you have with the customers, you have all of these interactions, you build a team of people, especially a place like we are. And it just makes things a lot richer. And as we said, somebody who's never going to actually retire.
Right.
It's also probably something that I'll be doing for a little while,
Yeah, you've got to make these connections. I may be violating a non-disclosure thing here, so I apologize. And if I get fired from I have like 30 part-time jobs too. So one of them is, and we've talked about this before, I do ghostwriting. And actually, if you want your thing ghostwritten, go to storyterrace.com, I think, and just pick out Tony Russo, and I will ghostwrite whatever you want me to ghostwrite. But I'm doing like, a lot of it is just like sons, or so far it's just been sons, but I'm sure daughters are in the future, giving their fathers, for Father's Day, tell me your life story, right?
Yeah.
And so I've been talking to this one person, and I won't say his name, on the outside chance that you get his book and he pretends it's not ghostwritten, which would be dumb because So I'm not a bad writer, but I'm not a. No one's going to win a Pulitzer Prize from my take on their life.
Yeah, yeah.
But I wanted to call the book "The Man Who Invented Cancun," and he thought that was a little bit too much,
Right.
but he did.
Oh,
And when he moved to Cancun, are you sitting down? The
that's
population was 5,000.
really.
There were no hotels. There were no restaurants. There
Yeah.
was there was one restaurant and one grocery store because people didn't want to go to Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah, and this was in 1977. This was in our lifetime.
Yeah.
And it's just it's amazing to talk to this guy and to just hear the story of how this, like notoriously garish resort. Is it notoriously garish? All resorts are garish to me. I don't know if it's
I
notorious.
think that I most closely associate it with like spring break, right? That was whatever 30 years ago. That's where everybody was going to spring break. So yes, garish.
And he also they also the thing that was brand new ish at the time was timeshares. And he established what he claims was the first non-scammy timeshare company.
Yeah.
So, and that's as far as we've gotten.
Yeah.
But again, just the idea of hearing these people's stories and like how can I've actually just responded to someone on Substack who had posted and I'm not going to lose my mind and I'm going to behave. So.
Oh. Is this why you were late today, or not late?
Yeah. I was a little late because I was trying to make this a nice response, but it was someone who was kind of. It had to do with Charlie Kirk, who is a guy apparently, and that's that's what I wanted to bring up was I had never heard of this person, or if I had, I put him in the same bucket with. I don't know, Rachel Maddow and the little little Nazi boy masturbating in the bathroom from Knives Out. They're all the same person to me, and they're all essentially just shouting, look at me, otherwise I'll have to get a job. And it's not that I'm not, but I'm not willing to shout the kind of things that will keep me from having to get a job. And this is why I'm morally superior.
Right. Right. Same.
But their stories aren't interesting. What they're doing is they're guessing at what's going to make people react and saying that. Yeah. I would really much rather hear about, what it was like. I'm going to steal one more of this guy's stories and then I'm going to stop, I promise. But what it was like to go out fishing because a friend of yours came into town for dinner and you didn't have any food or money to buy food. And then to catch this awesome fish and to have him be jealous of how awesome your life is because you eat these 5-pound basses or 20-pound bass for dinner every night or whatever it is, that's way more interesting than this is why you should believe the same thing I believe.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to say. Yes, I was a little late and I told Todd someone on the internet was wrong because that's my favorite cartoon in the history of man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I Ocean's Calling.
Well,
cut off your story 14 minutes ago.
No, I think I got it out. I think no, it was we're talking about the integration. That's the theme and the storytelling. And also like as part of when we started, there's been a lot of callbacks for me recently because when we started, it was a shitty time. Like I was in construction, 2008 housing bubble we were coming out of that. And we had friends who had corporate jobs that had lost their corporate jobs because of the economic downturn and that sort of thing. So it was really a way to, contribute something small that could bring a little bit of joy to some corner of the internet. And when we started doing that, it was just a blog site, right? And there wasn't social media, and it wasn't what everything is today. And so I'm finding it easier just to go back to that and to continue that that methodology and that frame of mind, so that like you said, I'm just going to continue to make stuff and I'm going to put it out and nobody's going to see it, and and that's it, and that's going to be fine. And then maybe somebody does see it. Maybe somebody does see it down the line, or comes across our podcast from 10 years ago and like, these guys are idiots. Let's
Still, yeah.
Are they still doing it? That's crazy.
Yes, it is absolutely bananas how long we've been doing this, and how little success how little monetary success we've seen.
Right.
But it's so, the other thing that I want to show you now, because you said you should always be learning to do new things. This I've been able to do for a while. And for those of you who are listening, I'm walking a quarter across
fun.
my fist, but I can't do it with my left hand. So it's funny that you mentioned that, because this week I decided that from now on, when I'm on the phone or when I'm on the podcast, I'm going to practice doing with my left hand, because I just saw Real Genius and he does it with both hands and it made me jealous.
Oh, there you go.
And I'm sorry if you're too young or old to know Real Genius. It's it's an early Val Kilmer movie, like his first or second movie too.
It's such a great movie.
I bought it. I mean, I bought it a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I just recently watched it again, and one of the things he does. The other thing that people are always surprised about, including my wife, and she says it every fourth or fifth time that we see the movie, she's like, "Oh, who is that?" And I say, "It's Uncle Rico from Dynamite
Napoleon."
Man.
Yeah, Napoleon
Dynamite. Right. So
and more recently from the White Lotus series.
He's been a character actor for so much of my life. I actually think of him. He is in the Billy Crystal, Gregory Hines movie Running Scared. That's where I know him from.
Yeah.
But he's been in a billion things, and unfortunately I don't know his name, but I guess if you know Uncle Rico, you either know who or don't know who we're talking about.
Well, and it's also, Real Genius makes me think of the heyday, as we're talking about like throwback stuff of, pre-memes. You used to just quote movies. Like you would just sit around with your buddies and you would just incessantly quote movies. And I have a pretty good friend who I went to college, grade school, actually, college with, who has an incredible recall of so many movie quotes still to this day. Can't hold down a job, but still can remember.
So that's me.
Yeah. Oh, that's you. That's right.
The reason that I thought I would bring that up, though, in addition to my little quarter thing, it was something that I've been meaning to say anyway. There's a passage in that movie where you see the future of bots, and it couldn't have been on purpose, but early in the movie, the young hero, whose name I don't know, may have been his only movie.
Mitch, right? Mitch is the character's
right. Mitch, very good.
Wow,
goes to class, and there's like half of the people are in class, and then half of the people have come in and left tape recorders to record the class.
Yeah.
So that they can listen. And as the semester goes on, fewer and fewer people are going to class. And then in the penultimate scene of this, he gets to class and the teacher has left a tape recorder to talk to all the tape recorders. Yeah. And he's the only person there. And if I made memes, I would say, I would have a picture of him by himself in that room with all of the tape recorders talking to one another, and say, me in a chat room or whatever the modern day equivalent is. Me on social media, right? It's bots talking to bots talking to bots. And me.
The earliest visualization of the current dead internet, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll make a meme.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have ChatGPT make that meme.
That would be fantastic. That's the only way it should be made
It's funny too. I mean, obviously Real Genius. So the movie is about like a super smart school. So like they have all of these really quirky characters and that sort of thing. What I thought you were going to say was, didn't he build a machine to handwrite entries into like the publisher clearinghouse?
Yes.
I thought that was the bot you were that you might refer to.
Well,
But
no, that
yeah.
actually makes perfect sense. They have one of those in the White House. They've had that for years. Like when you get a letter from the president, the odds are that it's not. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If you're like the, I don't know, emir of Emirsville, then yeah, the president probably writes to you directly. But if you get a thank you for your kind note from the president, there's a huge machine that just cranks out the president's signature. And I learned about this in the 1980s. I know that Ronald Reagan was doing it. I don't know if it's how much older than that it is.
Yeah. Good stuff though.
Good.
Now I want to go watch Real Genius.
It never gets old. I've probably seen it 3 or 4 times in the last month. It's when I can't. Again, I promise I'm not going to get ranty, but to my great happiness, my wife has done away with Disney Plus. Actually, all the streamers I think are gone now.
Oh yeah,
which is good because I don't like them. I don't like them because they make me lazy and they take my time. It's like like I don't smoke anymore. Like if I could have the occasional cigarette, I would continue to smoke.
Right.
I can't. I either have to have 3 packs a day or no cigarettes. That's me.
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm just like So not having any streamers means that I just when I'm too bored to be awake, I put on a movie and I just have to go and pick one out. And Real Genius has been actually last night I watched Ronin, for those of you who care, the Robert De Niro movie, which is longer and more car chasey than I remembered, which is too bad because car chases are dead. If you're making movies, car chases are over. Please stop them. Just have somebody pretend you're making a play and have someone come in and say, "Oh, they had a really wicked car chase," and then they caught him. There's nothing new under the sun, unless you're doing the movie The Fall Guy, which doesn't have one wasted second of.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you saw the movie, the new version, the new Fall Guy movie, but
yeah,
all the car chases in that are perfectly acceptable because they forward the plot. They're not just, hey, idiot, watch this for the next 5 minutes while we dream up what we're going to do next.
Right.
So you said you're going to Ocean's Calling, but you didn't say anything beyond that. And I'd like to get that in at least a little bit.
I think it's worth mentioning that Ocean's Calling is coming back. I think this is it would be the 4th year, but they got canceled. They got rained out the first year. So we're doing GA plus, not VIP this year. We're going to see Noah Khan, famously discovered by Tony Russo, none other than
Kelly, actually, my wife,
Kelly Russo. And, and Green Day is playing on Friday night. So but Lenny Kravitz is also playing. So a lot of good throwback bands. And I was doing a video, as I do, and looking for one of the songs that one of the bands I was doing a video of one that they like to play, and it was All American Rejects. I forget the name of the song, but that song is like 15 years old. And I'm looking at the lineup for Ocean's Calling, and these bands are all old.
Yes.
I mean, I'm realizing that I'm old too, but Good Charlotte and Collective Soul, En Vogue, like all of these bands have been around for a long time. Why aren't there any new bands? Are there?
They are. They're just not in Ocean City.
Of course.
And this is not anybody.
They're just not for us, right?
Right. I mean, but God bless them. Ocean City can afford just so much, and I would play Ocean City if I was a musician. Someone asked me to, even if I wasn't necessarily selling out stadiums.
Yeah.
The festival circuit's the festival circuit. I don't know if this got past your radar. It got past mine. Spinal Tap 2 came out recently, or is coming out any minute.
I think that it is coming out. Yes, that has not that did hit my radar, which is kind of fun.
Yes, and so that's very much the same, the same feeling. Like, well, we have to.
Yeah.
It's either this or get a straight job, which is what I say about everything, including everything I do. Well, that'll bring us up to it. If you would like to follow me on social media, I am going to hang up with Todd. I'm going to make a video of best sentence I've written today so far. I'm going to return to that. And also, I'm going to start reading sentences or pitching the stories that I've published. I finished my... Oh, I didn't get to say that. I finished my my first object history story, which has been on hold since April. So there is if you'd like to listen to me for an hour, there are 60 minutes out now, and then 20 more minutes will come out on the 26th, 25th soon, actually. So you can just switch over to it now. I have the whole series, the final chapter in the series, which was suspended for about 2 or 3 months, is finally out and available for your listening pleasure. And how about you? Do you have anything coming up this week? Any?
Look for us at Ocean's Calling. It's always fun to see not people of the boardwalk on the boardwalk for a festival like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll be in Nashville next week to see Shaboozey. That's a new band.
I was about to say that sounds like it's probably a new band.
So I'll be reporting back on that. We're going with a bunch of Dewey people. So it's Nashville. Nashville
and those are people from Dewey Beach, not damp people.
Yes. Thank you for the clarity. Nashville is a fun place. This crew that's going, we could be going to Albuquerque, and it would be a good time. So, I will be reporting back on that for sure.
And that'll be in 2 weeks. We'll return with the show. At least I'd like to start telling people in advance that we won't be on, which is hard because last time was absolutely my fault, or the time before. One recent time was definitely my fault, but we're looking at October 8th.
Yep.
For our next show to be recorded and hopefully to be out on October 9th. I've been doing pretty well with that, so we'll see.
Excellent.
All right. And that's all I got. How about you?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, remember, until next time at the beach,
it's happy hour whenever you say it is.